It is the 21st of April, 1871, and we've got the 1-1 Boston Red Stockings going up against the 1-0 Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Your starting lineup for the Boston Red Stockings. Batting off first is first baseman Bub McKay. Um, Batting second, shortstop Warren White. You're doing okay? Just one of them nights. What? Where you can't sleep? You mean? Or uh, batting third, the second baseman Tom Carey. Batting fourth is the left fielder Andy Leonard. Batting fifth is the center fielder Al Reach. Batting sixth is the right fielder Tommy Beals. Batting seventh is the catcher Henry Kohler. Batting eighth, the third baseman Joe Batten. And batting ninth, the pitcher Asa Bernard. You once had a 4-ball, refused to let me and my dad's friend through because I was there. I was about 14. The group was a bunch of old men, and we eventually had to complain after the round. Head doing some. Oh, not good, Timothy. Whew, what was that? Was that Bedoya? Yeah, Bedoya just cleaned out. Absolutely cleaned out Fortune. He got a yellow card for it. But yeah, he wiped him out. I'm sorry that your head's doing somersaults, man. Thanks for the distraction. You are most welcome. I might actually be able to put you to sleep because it's baseball. And a lot of non-Americans find baseball very boring. But yeah, anyway, let's do the starting lineup for Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Batting off first at the yeah, I know. Batting first, the shortstop Dickie Flowers. Batting second is the center fielder Count Sensendorfer. Batting third, the second baseman Jimmy Wood. Batting fourth, the left fielder Steve King. Batting fifth is the third baseman Harry Schaefer. Batting sixth is the first baseman Wes Fizzler. Batting seventh is the catcher Fergie Malone. Batting eighth, the right fielder Dave Birdsall. Batting ninth, the pitcher George Zetlin. So for those that don't remember, Fort Wayne Kekiongas, they were on last night's stream. They played the Troy Haymakers and beat them 16-3. So we watched that last night. We have Boston coming up here tonight. Let's get into the game, shall we? It is the Boston Red Stockings at the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. And here's the first pitch. That's out. That's high for a ball. 1-0. Zetlin recording the win last night. And he's going up against Asa Bernard, who was 1-1 on the season. First up is Bub McAtee. I thought it was McAfee. It's McAtee. And he is currently batting .429 for the season through 2 games. Here's the 1-0 pitch. On the inside corner for a strike. It'll be 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, popped up in the infield, over to the third base side, and that'll be the first out of the game. That'll bring up Warren White. He is yet to hit or record a hit so far this season. Here's the pitch. Swung on and miss for strike number 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Inside ball 1. One thing I will say about this Atlanta-Philly game right now is that it's very physical. Extremely physical. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's swung on, foul down the first base side. Ooh, that is nasty from Jamal. He didn't get booked, though. Right, here's the 1-2. Outside for a ball. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch.
Strike three.
And that's struck right down the middle. He rung him up. And White is down on strikes looking. And that'll be the second out of the inning. Here's the first pitch to Carey. That's fouled. Tom Carey batting .444 so far in his opening 2 games. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded over towards the second baseman. On to first, and that'll retire the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the first. It's scoreless here in Fort Wayne. Yeah, that's a foul. Bernard on the mound today for Fort Wayne, or for Boston. And he delivers the first pitch strike to Dickie Flowers. Flowers, 1 for 3 so far this season. Here is the 0-1 pitch. It's on the inside corner for a ball. Or I should say, it's inside for a ball. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It'll be 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. That's swung on, grounded over to the first base. And out at first. Unassisted. The first baseman took it himself. And that'll retire Dickie Flowers. That brings up Count Sessendorfer, who's 1 for 6 so far this season. Here's the first pitch. Inside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. That's popped up. That's going to be in for a base hit. Sessendorfer is aboard. He's got himself a single. That'll bring up Jimmy Wood, who's yet to record a hit so far this season. He had an RBI walk in yesterday's game. Here's the first pitch. That's out inside. That's low for a ball. And Sessendorfer manages to get to second base. It's a stolen base for Sessendorfer. And that is second over to second for Sessendorfer. So Jimmy Wood, 1-0. Here's the pitch. Swung up, popped up behind home plate. That'll go foul. It'll be 1-1. Here's the pitch. That is low for a ball. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, flied out over to left field, but foul. The 2-1, or the 2-2, swung on, hit deep into center field. Going back as a center fielder. That one's over the wall. Jimmy Wood with a 2-run shot here in the bottom of the first inning. And just like that, Fort Wayne have taken the lead 2-0. He hit that dead straightaway center. That was a great shot. Absolute blast. And a 2 RBI home run for Wood gives Fort Wayne the lead. Due up next is going to be Steve King, the left fielder. He's yet to record a hit so far this season. Here is the first pitch. Swung on, and that's lined right at the shortstop for the first out of the inning. Or for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Harry Schaefer. He is 2 for 4 so far this season. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, and that's grounded over towards the hole, and that is going to get through for a base hit. Schaefer is aboard with a single. That'll bring up Wes Fizzler. He's 1 for 5 so far this season. Open to first. And he's back at time. Throw off attempt at first. And again, he's back in time. Here's the pitch. It's in there for a called strike. Over to second. No throw. And Schaefer's got himself a stolen base. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. It'll be 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Inside for a ball. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. That's flied over to left field. That could be dropped. It is a base hit. Oh, it's an error as well on the left fielder. That's going to allow Schaefer the score. And that is 3-0 Fort Wayne. That'll bring up Fergie Malone. 2 for 5 so far this season. He takes ball 1 on the outside. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In the air for a strike. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Swung on. Grounded over towards the second baseman. On to first. And that will retire the side. 3 runs on 4 hits, and they leave 1 left. We go to the top of the second. It is 3-0 Fort Wayne. Due up first for Boston will be left fielder Andy Leonard. Here's the first pitch. Swung on. That's popped right back up towards the pitcher. It's actually going to be the first baseman who comes over and gloves it. And that is going to be out number 1. That brings up Zetlin, the pitcher. Here's the first pitch. On the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Down low for a ball. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, grounded over towards the second baseman, and that is on to first for the second out of the inning. That brings up Tommy Beals. So that was Al Reachet back previously. That brings up the right fielder, Tommy Beals. Beals is batting 1 for 9 so far this season. And he takes first pitch in there for a strike. 0-1. Crack, attack, Central, welcome in. Let me give you a shout out, brother. If you're not already, guys, go give Crack a follow. Playing through Expedition 33 currently. Plays a variety of games, including Blasphemy and also Path of Exile. Also plays a lot of Football Manager. Definitely a fun streamer. Will tell you the Pokemon, as that's probably really horribly pronunciated crack, so forgive me. But yeah, welcome in, man. What's up, dude? Feetbo! What's up, Feetbo? How you doing, man? Feetbo, why you can't sleep, man? I hope you're well, man. I hope you've been doing well. Doing good, man. Nice. Right. Tommy Beals, the right fielder. Here's the 0-1 pitch. I haven't tried to sleep yet. Fair enough. That's going to be down low for a ball. And it's 1-1. Okay. That should have been a foul. Yeah. Okay, cool. The Union are on right now, and I'm like, man, Wagner's getting skinned, man. This is 2 hard fouls against Wagner. No yellow card on either of them. This one I wouldn't argue is a yellow. Almiron's earlier, I would argue, yeah, that was definitely a yellow card. But anyway, have you seen my Insta story? You posted about Union Gurten, right? I think I liked it, if I remember correctly. Because you guys won the games, right? It was a derby match, right? And you guys won 3-0, and or was that the same game? Just first half, second half. How are you finding the game? The game's got an insane level of detail, crack. Insane level of detail. Win well deserved 3-0. Wait. No, it's both matches. First team on my second team. Okay. The first team won 3-0. Second team won 2-0. All right, I'm going to ask for a little help with the translation, Fipo, because when I click the translation here, right, the last sentence says, and is the first reserve team that could win in Senftonbach in the 2020. So is it that they can win next week or that they already have won it? Because I feel like that might be a lost in translation thing. So that's why I'm asking. So. They lost for the first time this half year, I think. Nice. How do you feel about Pals getting Europe? I played Glad All Over as one of the intro songs. So, how do I feel about it? Great. I think it's fantastic for those fans, man. Palace winning was awesome. There's so many great. I saw the Instagram. I posted the tweet, not in your Discord or mine, but in a few. A lot of Austrians were there. That's awesome. But I posted about the fans getting emotional in the stands because, you know, it's the first time they've really won anything. And I saw the full clip of it on Insta, and it was just incredible. Like, it's just incredible, the emotions that those fans go through. I cried for those fans, man. Like, that stuff gets me really emotional because, you know, I'm also a fan of a club that doesn't win a lot. So I'm a fan of 2 clubs that don't win a lot. So, you know, that whenever I see something like that, it always fills me with joy, but it also fills me with a lot of hope for my clubs that maybe one day we'll get it over the line, you know? So I feel fantastic about it. I think it's a phenomenal moment for the sport as well. Here's Tommy Beals. He is 1 for 9 so far. By the way, Crack, we are just, that's grounded up towards the middle. That should be over to the second baseman. He's not going to get there in time. And it is a single for Tommy Beals. I know. I love that too, Crack. That's really good. I did see that. My team was 2-0 behind at halftime. We turned it around in 10 minutes. Let's go. Pulling a Union against Galaxy. Let's go. So we are scoreless right now, 40th minute. So we rotated out because we have a cup game on Wednesday as well. So we'll see if we can do it with a rotated side. Here's Henry Kohler, the catcher. He's batting 1 for 8 so far this season. Runner on first and 2 outs. And he'll take the first pitch outside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Oh, what a ball. There you go. That one's going to be, that is outside for a ball over to second base. And safe is Tommy Beals. He's in there with a stolen base. They won't, Crack. It's a double standard, brother. You already know that. They might. I actually think they have a better shot than Man U, even though Man U's been playing better. I don't think Amron's a decent manager. I don't think he's really proved himself here. I think Ange is. Oh, go on. Ah. That was close. I think Ange has brought better ideas to Spurs than Amram has to Man United. So, I mean that by no offense, Crack. I just think, can't you lie for my sack? Sorry. I just realized you're the Man U fan in the chat. I just realized that. Do you really want to see Spurs? Well, you don't because you're an Arsenal fan. And I normally don't because I'm a West Ham fan. But I actually do kind of want Ange to win this because I want him to put a lot of doubters to bed here. So here's the 2-0. That's grounded foul. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Popped up into center field. And that'll be gloved for the out, and that'll retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the second. It is still 3-0 Fort Wayne. So I know what to do to get payback on brother. I'm surprised they didn't sack Ange yet. Normally they sack their manager before. I don't know, man. I don't know. Someone used the channel point. Screw them. No. 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 I should turn it off. I should go into my settings, and I should turn it off. There we go. There we go. Have you it timed out yet? What? I don't know what you mean. So. Right. Leading off Dave Birdsall. And that's a called strike. 0-1. Dave Birdsall 3 for 5 so far this season. He's been pretty good. Batting in the 8th spot. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, fouled back towards the screen. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside check swing, but a ball. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on. That's going down the right field line, but hooking foul. Here's the 1-2. Grounded over towards second base. On to first, and that'll retire Dave Birdsall. 4-3 on the putout. That'll bring up George Zetlin to the plate. Zetlin so far 2 for 5 with an RBI this season. First pitch is a strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is down low for a ball. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's grounded over towards second base. On to first, and that'll be out number 2. 4-3 on the putout. That'll bring up Dickie Flowers. He grounded out unassisted to the first baseman in his first at bat. Was tempted to stream now myself, but so late here in Ireland would be bad for the viewers. You shouldn't do it for the viewership. It should always be because you enjoy it. But I understand. I can't say the viewers don't make it easier. It's a lot more fun to do it with viewers than nobody in there. Here's the first pitch to Flowers. It's in there for a strike. 0-1. You know. Sorry. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, grounded right back to the mound and through for a base hit. Dickie Flowers is aboard with a single. I'm sorry, did he get a double? Did that count as a double? Was there an error that I didn't catch because I was looking down at my score sheet? What a sliding save from Frankie Westfield. Wow. Wow. I don't know if that has him in I couldn't even game log. Here we go. Yeah, it's an error on the outfielder. So it's a single with an error on the outfielder. Dickie going to second. I just want to snip this real quick because it's not OT, it's the first half. And I want to send it, I want to post that in Sports Scores bot. So just so that they fix it. Because I don't know if they know this is an issue right now or not. So give me 1 second. There we go. Right. Let me close Snip Tool now. But, Crack, the game's awesome. I think this game's awesome. We're playing through the 1871 season. And the fact that you can go back that far and it has historical players from that season. And it has the historical teams from that season. And the league expands historically like MLB expands. So like next season there's going to be like 10 teams in the league instead of 9 or something like that. And I think, and the season format and the playoff formats all change historically as you go through the season. So the fact that they have added all of that, the real life players will come into the game as you go through the seasons. So the fact that they've added all of that, I think, is fantastic. I think it's amazing, the level of detail. The prices of the tickets adjust for inflation over the seasons themselves. Like, that is just insane, the level of detail, right? So the stadium moves are the same. So, like, the Phillies will eventually play in Connie Mack. Then they'll eventually play at Veterans. Then they'll eventually play at Citizens Bank. Like, it's just insane. Here's Sessendorfer. He had a single as his first at bat. He takes the first pitch inside for a strike. 1-0. I'm sorry, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded over towards second base. Dropped by the second baseman. Sessendorfer's aboard on an error. So E4 will get him onto first. Flowers goes to third. And now it's runners on the corners with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch to Wood. He grounds over to the second base. And he can't get the throw in time. It's an infield single for Jimmy Wood, who adds a third RBI to himself this game. Jimmy Wood had the 2-run home run in the opening inning, and now he has an RBI single. Runners first and second now. 2 outs. That'll bring up Steve King, who lined out to the shortstop his first at bat. Here's the pitch. That's one's flied out into right field. And this time, it'll be gloved by Beals. And that'll retire the side. So 1 run on 3 hits, and they leave 2 aboard. We go to the top of the 3rd. It is 4-0 Fort Wayne. Due up first for Boston will be third baseman Joe Batting. He is 0 for 3 in his 3 plate appearances so far this season. Here's the first pitch. That's outside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, grounded over the third base. On to first in plenty of time for the out. 5-3 on the putout, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Asa Bernard. He is 1 for 8 so far this season. Here's the first pitch. In there for a called strike. It is 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That's down low for a ball, 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Popped up towards right field. Coming in as the right fielder, but the pitch blows foul. 1-2. Popped up at home plate. And that'll be gloved by Malone, and it'll be 2 out with nobody on. That'll bring up Bob McAtee. He popped up to the third baseman his first at bat. Here's the pitch. Inside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, chopped foul. 1-2 pitch now. That's lined out into right field. That'll be a base hit. And Bob McAtee is aboard with a single. Just the second hit of the day for Boston. That'll bring up Warren White. Struck out looking his first at bat. Still looking for his first hit on the season. Here's the pitch. That's inside. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. On the inside corner. Strike 1. McAtee looked like he wanted to steal the base here. Here's the 1-1. That is outside for a ball. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Grounded over towards the first baseman. And the pitcher cannot get over there in time. It is an infield single for Warren White. And they've got 2 aboard now, Boston. Here in the top of the 3rd. That'll bring up Tom Carey. Grounded out his first at bat. Here's the pitch. That one's flied out into center field. Still going back. And still, it's at the wall. It bounces on the warning track. It'll be extra bases. Going over the second is going to be Tom Carey. And McAfee will score. And it is an RBI double for Tom Carey to get Boston on the board. Warren White goes to third as well. And it'll be second and third with 2 outs here. That brings up Andy Leonard, who popped out to the first baseman his first at bat. Here's the pitch. That's taken outside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's a wild pitch that gets by. And coming in to score will be Warren White. Carey goes to third. And just like that, Boston's cut the deficit in half. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's high for ball 3. 3-0 pitch. That is a high for a walk. It is a base on balls. And that'll bring Andy Leonard to first. That'll bring up Al Reach. He grounded out his first at bat. Over to first. Runners is back in time. Here's the first pitch. That's inside and low for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Popped up behind home plate. And that'll be gloved by Malone, and that'll retire the side. 2 runs on 3 hits, and they leave 2 aboard. We go to the bottom of the third. It is now 4-2 Fort Wayne. Due up first for the Kekiongas, Henry Schaefer, who had a single and a stolen base his first at bat. Austria won the what's the ESC? Oh, Eurovision. Oh, for real? Wow. Congrats, people. Here's the first pitch. That's down low for a ball. 1-0. One-0 pitch. That's high for a ball. 2-1. It's fine. 2-0 pitch is popped up into center field. That'll be taken very handily by Al Reach. That'll be out number 1. That brings up West Fizzler, who had a single his first at bat. But still, congratulations, you know. I don't know. I feel like it's a big thing over there. Like, obviously, the Eurovision, but I don't know how much people celebrate winning it. Do you know what I mean? That might be something I need to know. Or, like, at least taught, I mean. Right, here's the first pitch to Wes Fizzler. That's grounded back towards the mound. Over to first, and that's a drop. That's a wild throw. Second base for Fizzler. It is an E1. He reaches on an error by the pitcher, and that puts him on second base with just 1 out. Oh, most of the people from the LGBTQ community celebrated, is what you're saying. So that'll bring up Fergie Malone. He grounded out his first at bat. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Grounded over to his third baseman. Nice diving play, and it's another wild throw. An E5. Fizzler does not move off second base, but now it's 2 aboard with 1 out. That'll bring up Dave Birdsall, who grounded out his first at bat. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, that's pop foul. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It'll be 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on. That's lined into center field. That's lined into left field. That'll be a base hit, and just like that, it is trouble again for Boston as the bases are loaded. That brings up George Zetland, the pitcher. He grounded out his first at bat. Here's the pitcher. In, swung on and missed. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's swung on and jumped and fouled behind home plate. 0-2 pitch over to third. Runners back in time. Here's the 0-2. Grounded over towards the over the first, and I think he's got him. No, does he got him? No, he's safe at first. He is considered safe at first, so it is a fielder's choice for Zetterlund, who gets aboard. A 2-3 fielder's choice. Malone goes to third. Going to second is Birdsall. And that'll bring up the top of the order. It's Dickie Flowers. He had a single and a ground out in his first 2 plate appearances so far today. Here's the first pitch. Inside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's flied out into left field. Going back is the left fielder. That's going to be off the warning track. Extra bases. 2 runs will score. Malone scores. Birdsall scores. Going to third is going to be, I'm sorry. I just messed up. Hold on. He won. He went to third, but then he grounded out fielder's choice. So he scored the run. Scoring the run is, so Malone scores, Birdsall scores, Zetterlund goes to third amongst all that. And that is a 2-run RBI double. I don't get baseball. A lot of people come in and tell me they don't. I love baseball. I absolutely love baseball. That brings up Count Sessendorfer. He is 1 for 2 so far with a stolen base. He also reached on an error. Here's the first pitch. It's in there, first strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's popped up into center field. Coming in as the center fielder. Oh, he's made an error. The center fielder's made an error. And the inning is going to continue on an error by the center fielder. Zetterlund will score. Dickie Flowers will score. The bases are emptied by Sessendorfer, who gets aboard via an error, and that's going to bring up Jimmy Wood. Jimmy Wood, he had an RBI single and a 2-run home run so far in this game. Here's the first pitch. That's lined deep into right field. That is going to be another base hit. It hits the gap. And Sessendorfer, he's got a Jimmy Wood gets into third base with a triple. It's another RBI for Jimmy Wood. He's got 4 RBIs so far today in his 3 at-bats. It means also that we've batted around the order. And that'll bring up Steve King, who is he lined out to the shortstop and flied out to right field so far today. Damn, Boston really sucks. You have to remember 2 things. Number 1, this is technically year 1871, so there's a lot of errors, and there's a lot of like lower quality plays, right? Because it's 1871. So oh my God, the carpet underneath me just balled up underneath my feet. So there we go. Most games are blowouts. You get some that are close, but most games are like high-scoring games, like 17-6, 13-5, something like that. Here's the 0-1 pitch. In there for called strike 2. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. taken high for a ball. 1-2. 1-2 pitch. It's a wild pitch. Coming in to score will be Jimmy Wood. He's safe at the plate. And Fort Wayne have opened up a 10-2 lead. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Steve King. That's popped foul down the first base side. Here's the 2-2. That's popped up towards the center fielder, and this time he will glove it. So, 6 runs on just 3 hits. And they leave nobody left. We go to the top of the 4th. It is now 10-2 for the Kekiongas. Due up first for Boston is going to be Tommy Beals, the right fielder. He had a single and a stolen base his first at bat. Here's the first pitch. That is away for a ball. 1-0. 1-0 pitch swung on into left field. And it will be gloved there for the first out of the inning. Here's the thing, Fipo. I don't know if you're still here on that, but if you think baseball's confusing, or if you don't understand baseball, wait till you get to your actually scoring baseball. Like actually writing down what happens in all of the plays. Like, that'll bring up Henry Kohler. He flied out to center field his first at bat. First pitch grounded over towards the second baseman. Oh, and the second baseman's absolutely. It's going to be scored as a single, but the second baseman probably should have gotten that. In all honesty. So he's aboard with a single. And that'll bring up Joe Batten, who grounded out his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, popped into left field. And that'll be Joe Batten retired for the second out of the inning. That brings up the pitcher, Asa Bernard, who popped up to the shortstop in his last at bat. Here's the Kimball's in. Kimball is in. We're not. Kimball's in. Yeah, Kimball's in. So it's not Asa Bernard. Right, that brings up oh, we almost scored. Are you kidding me? The Union almost scored. Wow. Kimball is his first at bat of the season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, that's grounded over towards the third baseman. And it's a wild throw by the third baseman. And so Kimball is aboard on an error by the third baseman. Kohler goes to second. Now it'll be first and second with 2 outs. That'll bring up Bub McAtee, who he has 1 for 2 so far with a single and a run. Our first pitch is down low for a ball. It's in there for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on. That's flied out towards left field, and it's foul. The 1-2 pitch. Grounded back up towards the second baseman. And he's dropped it. The second baseman's dropped it. And McAtee gets aboard via an error. E4. He's aboard. Going to second is Kimball. Going to third is Kohler. And that'll bring up Warren White, the shortstop. He had a single, a run, and he struck out. Here's the first pitch. That's outside for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 pitch, swung on, grounded over to the third baseman, and he's just going to step on third, and that is going to retire the side. No runs on one hit, and they leave the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It is 10-2 for the Kekiongas. Due up first for Fort Wayne will be Henry Schaefer. He is a single, and he popped out his first at bat, or his last at bat. Coming on to pitch, James McDermott. Here's the first pitch. That's in for a ball. So Asa Bernard, innings pitched 3. He pitched 3 innings. His pitch count finished at 55. And base on balls. Did he give up a base on balls? I think he gave up 1. No, who got the base on balls? Oh, it was Andy Lenard. So he didn't give up any base on balls. He didn't strike out anybody. He's given up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's given up 9 hits. He's given up 10 runs, and I don't know how many of them are earned. This should be a penalty for the Union. That's a pretty unnatural position of the arm. The arm is out of the body. He's sliding. His left arm is going down to support his fall, but his right arm is out like this, and it strikes the right hand. Guzan's got to be booked, man. He's trying to talk to the ref while the ref's in the VAR area. Hold on, here's the call. It is a penalty. The Union have a penalty. Right. James McDermott is the new pitcher. Let me put him in there. James McDermott. He's got 1 pitch. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is low for a ball. 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's line foul. It'll be 2-1. The 2-1 pitch popped up into right field. Going back, going still back. It's going to be a base hit. It bounces between the gap. And just like that, over to 30, safe into third. And Henry Schaefer not fazed by the new pitcher who's come in. He's got a lead-off triple for Fort Wayne. Baribo's going to take the penalty. Come on, Baribo. Fort Wayne Kekiongas, yeah. Welcome, Nasty Dunk. Come on, Baribo. Yes! Give me a minute, because I have an Israeli friend, and every time that that Baribo scores, it's I have to tag him and say Baribo. Welcome in, Nasty Dunk. What is that? Oh, Joe Parker. Nice. What's up? Oh, this is Joe Park. Hello. Nice. Okay. How are you? Are you a baseball fan? I want to just see something real quick with the sports score bot, because it should be it's every game that goes to halftime. It is like that. A friend recommended me. Love me some good old baseball games. Nice, let's go. I'm loving this game. This is my first out of the park, and I'm having a field day with it. Absolute field day. He subbed out Damiani for Quinn Sullivan, which and I think he's done. Has he taken off? God, what am I? Who's Bedoya probably for? Really, it's Bedoya for Quinn, and Damiani probably came off for. Well, Baribo had to come on, so Baribo on. Yeah, so those are the subs. Nice. I got a MLS match on the side. My team's playing, so don't mind me being distracted. By the way, Nancy. But welcome in. It's the 21st of April. It is 1871. It's the Boston Red Stockings, who are 1-1, at the Fort Wayne Kekiongas, who are 1-0 so far this season. I am managing the Rockford Forest Cities, but yeah. We're every day that there's a game, we're commentating it. So let me get back into it. This is going to be Wes Fissler, who's up. I also am keeping score, so I don't know if you've ever kept score, Nasty Dunk, at a baseball game, but I'm keeping score of all the games we're commentating as well. Wes Fissler will be up. He reached on an error his last at bat. He also has a single. Here's the first pitch. That's grounded over towards the shortstop. On to first, in time for the out. It'll be 6-3 on the put, but it is an RBI. RBI ground out. Sacrifice ground out, if you will. I used to when I was a kid. Every time I go to a baseball game, man, I score the game. So it's just I'm just getting used to it because it's so. But the ones that you get when you go to the games are not like as in depth as these actual score books. The books have like the ones you go in game. It only asks you the basic stuff like pitcher, innings pitched, earned runs, hits, strikeouts, ball or walks. Right. This one, you actually keep track of, like, the pitch count. You keep track of the sacks. You keep track of like, just everything. There's even a section that there's a section that I don't even use that is for putouts, assists, and errors for all the defense. Any advice on what to do? I got a drunk channel chanting South London. What? What are you talking about, Radioactive? I have no clue. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We almost conceded. The Worcester Warriors. What? Yeah, that's the old rugby team, ran to me. Right. Next up is Fergie Malone. He reached on an error and also grounded out. Worcester's. Nice. Worcester's. Nice. That is taken for a ball. 1-0. Yeah, I know. I know they won the FA Cup. I'm very happy for them. That's taken on the outside corner for a strike. 1-1. I'm really happy they won the FA Cup, actually. So, big congrats to them, man. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's fouled. The 1-2 pitch is taken down low for a ball. 2-2. Let me just see real quick if Sports scores, but he's not responded to me. Okay, I told him it's every game. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, lined into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And Fergie Malone is aboard here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Is that also going to score? No, that's not going to score. Sorry. He scored a run. So I forgot to put the run for Henry Schaefer. So Malone's aboard. That'll bring up Dave Birdsall, who had a single his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. That's grounded over towards the shortstop. Through for a base hit. Malone goes to second. And that will be runners first and second, just one out. George Zetlin, the pitcher, will be up next. He reached via a fielder's choice on his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. Grounded over towards the first baseman. And they will get the force at first. Over to third goes Malone. Over to second goes Birdsall. And now it's second and third with 2 outs. That'll bring up Dickie Flowers, who has he has a single, a double, and 2 RBIs in 3 plate appearances so far today. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, grounded over towards the first baseman. And he will take it himself to retire the side. 1 run on 3 hits, and they leave 2. We go to the top of the 5th. It is 11-2 for the Kekiongas. Due up first for Boston will be Tom Carey, who had a RBI double in his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. That's high for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's flying out into right field. Still going, and foul. Atlanta's making 2 subs. Latte Las coming on. Mosquiera is coming on as well. Tiare is off for Atlanta. And then Muyumba is coming off as well for Atlanta. Union are leading 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Taken outside for a ball. 2-1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Grounded over to the shortstop. On to first. And that is going to be an error and a bad one. Over to second. So it will be reaching on an error is Tom Carey. That is an E6. And he goes to second base on the throwing error. And that will bring up Andy Leonard, who he walked in his previous at-bat. Leonard takes the first pitch outside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is inside for ball 2. The 2-0 pitch. Taken low for ball 3. 3-0. Taking all the way, and that'll be a called strike. Hitters count now 3-1. This one swung on deep into left field, hooking foul. Here's the full count. That's taken low for a ball, and Leonard has walked again. If I can actually circle the right thing, that would help. There we go. That'll bring up Al Reach. He popped out to the catcher, and he grounded out his previous 2 at-bats. Here's the first pitch. That's grounded over to the first baseman. On to second for 1. Back over to first. And not in time at first base. So Al Reach will reach via a fielder's choice. 3-6 on the putout. And Leonard goes to second base. I'm sorry, that's Leonard was the one that they got out. I'm sorry. Leonard got out. It's going to be Carey that goes to third base because Leonard was the fielder's choice. Here's Tommy Beals. He singled and flied out. Here's the first pitch. That's taken for a ball, 1-0. Looks like an attempted steal there, maybe by Al Reach. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. That's chopped into right field, but hooking foul. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Oh, that was just beyond Baribo. Or, I'm sorry. I think that was just beyond Quinn. Right? I'm looking at the scores. I don't see the Philly scores coming through. They might have finished already, the Phils. Anyway, here's the 1-2 pitch. Taken outside for a ball, and it is 2-2. 2-2 pitch, swung on. Lined up into right field. That'll be down for a base hit. Carey's going to come around to score. Al Reach will go to second base. And Tommy Beals has got himself an RBI single. That gets Boston a little bit back into this game. Next up will be Henry Kohler. He has a single and he flied out to center field in his previous 2 at-bats. Here's the first pitch. That's down the middle for a strike. 0-1. Vasilev's coming on for the Union. I wonder for who. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, lined to the left field. That's going to be down for a base hit. In the corner, it goes. And that is a double, an RBI double for Henry Kohler. Over the third goes Beals. And Boston have clawed another one back. Oh, come on, ref. Here's Batten. He's going to take the first pitch for a strike. 0-1. Batten, he grounded out, flied out his previous 2 at-bats. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, popped up just outside the infield here. And the shortstop goes into center field, or into left field, just to make the play. Not deep enough to advance the runners or for the runners to tag, so everybody stays put. Now there's 2 outs. That'll bring up James McDermott. His first plate appearance in the season. First pitch, and that's hit right at the shortstop, and that will retire the side. So, 2 runs on 2 hits, and they leave 2 on. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is 11-4 for Fort Wayne. Are the stadiums accurate for the time period? Visually, no, Crack. The stats that the stadiums have, like how far the fences are, how high the walls are, the capacity of the stadiums, those are accurate, but visually, no, they are not accurate, if that makes sense. Oh my God. Oh, that's a head injury. Ooh, or a head clash. Oh my God, he's bleeding. Oh, Kai's bleeding on the back of his head. Oh, that's bad. Oh my good Lord. Right. Wagner and Latte La just had a clash of heads. And Wagner rolled over and he was holding this, and you could just see his fingers all red. Yeah. Lukic just like, that's his Lukic just looked at him and just went, he knows it's nasty. Latte La's getting a concussion evaluation right now. I think Wagner might actually have one. Which is not good because Wagner is actually joint second in the league with assists with our right winger, Quinn Sullivan. And Wagner's our left back. That's nasty. Here's the first pitch to Count Sessendorf, and that was going to be flied out. That's a base hit right away for Sessendorf. He's aboard with a leadoff single. Sessendorf now, he's reached base 4 times. He's 2 for 4. He reached twice on an error. This is nasty. This is going to be a lot of stoppage time, by the way. Wagner's really hurt. Right. That'll bring up Jimmy Wood. He is 3 for 3 today with a home run, a single, and a triple. He is a double away from the cycle. He's going to hit this one right in the infield. That's going to squeak through for another single, and Jimmy Wood is now 4 for 4 so far today. Over to second goes Sessendorfer. And it is first and second with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. That'll bring up Steve King, the left fielder. He lined out and flied out twice. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be grounded. That's actually through for a base hit. 3 straight singles for Fort Wayne. Over to second for Wood. Sessendorfer goes to third, and it's bases loaded and nobody out here. I'm trying to think of who the backup left back. They're going to have to move Harriel probably over to the left back and bring Glesnes on for Wagner. The only other thing they could do is maybe move Frankie from the right-hand side over to the left and bring Bombaizo in for Wagner, and Bombaizo goes over to the right-hand side. Sorry, trying to get rid of that little message. Yeah, Wagner can't continue. There's no way he's going to continue. So, right. Here's the first pitch to Ari Schaefer. That is a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. 2-0. 2-0 pitch is swung on, and it's right at the first baseman. Man, Minnesota's good, man. They just took the lead against St. Louis. Minnesota's a good team this year. That'll bring up Wes Fizzler. Wes is 1 for 3 with an RBI. Here's the first pitch. That is in there for a called strike. 0-1. Here's the pitch. That is flied out into right field. And over the head of the right fielder. This is going to be extra bases. It is a bases clearing triple for Wes Fizzler, who hits a 3-run RBI triple. And they grab the runs right back, Fort Wayne, that they surrendered in the top of the 5th. That brings up Fergie Malone, the catcher. He is 1 for 3 so far with a single. First pitch is in there for a called strike. 0-1. 0-1 pitch, taken low for a ball. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on a miss. It'll be 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, taken low for a ball. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Low for ball 3. And here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and right at the second baseman for the first out of the inning. I recorded that triple in the wrong inning, so now I'm just trying to correct my score. And that was a line drive right at, that was an F, well, that's L4, or line out to 4. That's a good ball. Good settle, good block, great block from Harriel. Wow. Atlanta should have scored there, and they didn't. Latte La should have scored. He was set up brilliantly, but he took an extra touch, and Harriel was able to stay with it and just block the shot. Really good work from Harriel. Right. Here's Birdsall coming in. He takes the first pitch for a ball. 1-0. Birdsall, 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a run. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's taken low for a ball. 2-1. Here's the 2-1. That's taken high. Ball 3. The hitter's count 3-1. This one's lined into the gap. It's a base hit and another RBI. Dave Birdsall with an RBI single. He will score Wes Fizzler in from third, and Fort Wayne has opened up a can here in the bottom of the 5th. That brings up George Zetlin to the plate. He is 0 for 3 so far today with a run. First pitch is in there for a called strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This one's lined into the gap. Another base hit. And Zetlin gets his first hit of the afternoon. Over to second goes Birdsall, and that again means we've batted around the order. That'll bring up Dickie Flowers here. He is 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs so far today. He takes first pitch for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In there for a called strike. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Grounded over towards the shortstop. And it's a throwing error by the shortstop. Everybody is safe. Over to third goes Birdsall. Zetlin will nestle in at second base. And now the bases are loaded here in the 5th with 2 outs. Count Sessendorfer will be the batter now. He's got 2 singles so far today. Here's the first pitch. That's lined into right field. It's a base hit. And Sessendorfer has got an RBI single. Scoring on the play will be Birdsall. Going to third will be Zetland. Going to second will be Dickie Flowers. That'll bring up Jimmy Wood, who had a single his last at bat. He is 4 for 4 with 4 RBIs. He needs a double to hit for the cycle, and they're going to sub him out. Really? You're going to sub him out? You're going to sub out the guy who's just a double away from the cycle? He's going to be subbed out for Bob Addy. And he takes first pitch for a strike. It'll be 0-1. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not. He's still pitching to Wood. I'm sorry. It's the pitcher who's been subbed out. Bob Addy is in as a pitcher now. That means innings pitched. What are we in the 5th? He came in the 4th, so 1.2 innings pitched. Pitch count finished at 37. He had a base on. I didn't think he had a base on balls, actually. Did he walk somebody? No, he has not walked anybody. He didn't have a strikeout. And he surrendered 3 hits, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits. Runs earned. I'm sorry, regular runs, just runs, not earned, is 8. We don't know how many he's earned, not earned. Right. Here's the pitch to Jimmy Wood. That's foul. Count goes to 0-2. Jimmy Wood takes this one inside for a ball. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's pop foul. Here's the 1-2 pitch. He takes that inside for ball 2. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. First baseman says he didn't go. And the count runs full. Here's the payoff pitch to Jimmy Wood. Fouled back towards the screen. Atlanta's made another sub. Here's the full count pitch. This one's grounded over towards third baseman. On to first in time, and the inning is finally retired. What are we at here? 11. They score 6 runs on 6 hits, and they leave the bases loaded. We go to the top of the 6th. It is 17-4 for Fort Wayne. Jets were trying to force Game 7 in that series, by the way. They lead. That goal the Jets just scored, that they win. They got a Game 7. Right. Due up first will be Bub McAtee for Boston. He is 1 for 3 so far today. Do you ever miss doing commentary? Why? I'm doing it now. I think you have your answer, brother. I think you have your answer, Crack. I don't miss doing CS commentary. I don't miss CS at all. But I love having the mic in my hand. Absolutely love having the mic in my hand. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In the inside corner for a strike. 1-1. So I miss, commentating on a tournament. I love commentating sports. I love sports and I love commentary, Danley. And, I wish I did it professionally. That is down the middle of the plate for a strike. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, fly deep in the left field, and it just goes foul. Here's the 1-2. That one's lined into left field. That'll be a base hit. And the board will be McAtee here to start the sixth for Boston. Jesus Christ. Wagner got hit again in the face? Oh my God, he did. He went in really hard, though. That's a really bad foul. Wagner got basically slapped. I don't know how Wagner's come back on, by the way, after a clash of heads. Here's the pitch. That is the ball, 1-0. Second base, it's stolen. Oh, and it's a throwing error by the catcher, which is going to move McAtee over to third. Wagner's bleeding again, by the way. Wagner's bleeding from his mouth now. What the shit? Or he's not bleeding from his mouth, but still. Looked like it for a second. That one's grounded over to the first base. He'll take it alone. And that will be the first out of the inning. That is Warren White, who goes out. That'll bring up Tom Carey. He is 1 for 3 so far with an RBI. Poor Wagner, man. Here's the first pitch. That's taken on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's shot foul. 0-2 pitch. Swung on, lined right at the first baseman for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Andy Leonard. He is 0 for 1 so far with 2 walks. Ty, you got to do better than that, man. Should have won that ball. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, chopped into left center field. That'll drop for a base hit. Scoring will be McAtee. And it is an RBI single for Leonard, who gets on the board here with his first hit of the game. That'll bring up Al Reach. Al was 0 for 3 so far, and he takes ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, grounded right back to the mound. Over to first in time, and that will retire the side. So 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It is 17-5 for Fort Wayne. Due up first will be the left fielder, Steve King. He is 1 for 3 so far today. Here's the first pitch. Taken for a called strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's a chop foul behind home plate. 0-2 pitch now. Grounded over towards the second base. On to first in time for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Henry Schaefer. He is 2 for 4 so far today. He's also got a stolen base. Here's the first pitch to Schaefer. Called a strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's down low for a ball. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Lined out into center field. That'll be a base hit. And Schaefer is aboard here with one out in the seventh. Or in the sixth, sorry. Wes Fissler will be the next batter. He is 1 for 4. He's 2 for 4 so far today with 4 RBIs. Here's the first pitch. That's inside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's inside. Ball 2. Well, it's a wild pitch, actually. It goes to the backstop. And going to second base will be Schaefer. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, grounded over to the shortstop. On to first, and that will be the second out of the inning. Going to third on the play will be Schaefer. And so he's 90 feet away, but with 2 outs now. Oh, what a ball. What a cutback. Go one. Oh, wow, he's just missed. He's just missed. Wow. Union could have made it 2-0 there in stoppage time that would have ended it. Right. That brings up Fergie Malone. He is 1 for 4 so far today. Here's the first pitch. That is it's going to get by the catcher. He can't stop it. And coming in the score will be Harry Schaefer. And that is another run for Fort Wayne. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on right back to, that's going to get through the gap into center field, and it's a single here for Malone. Fergie Malone gets a single, and he's aboard. That's going to bring up Dave Burnsall, who is 3 for 4 today with an RBI. This one's grounded right back to the mound. Over to first in time, and that will retire the side. 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave 1. We go to the top of the 7th. It is 18-5 for Fort Wayne. Two up first for Boston will be Tommy Beals, the right fielder. He is 2 for 3 so far with a stolen base and an RBI. First pitch, he takes inside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Grounded over towards shortstop. Over to first, and that'll be the first out of the inning. 6-4 on the put. And that's going to bring up Henry Kohler. He's 2 for 3 with a single, a double, and an RBI. This one's grounded over to shortstop. Long throw on to first. Got him in time for the second out of the inning. Joe Batten will be due up next. He's 0 for 3 so far. Here's the first pitch. And it's taken outside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Inside for ball 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. It'll be 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's lined out into left field. And right at the left fielder. 3 up, 3 down for Boston. It is 7th inning stretch time here in Fort Wayne. And it is 15-8 for the Kekiongas. Uh, where is it? I have it. It's somewhere here. It's somewhere here. I have it. Uh, maybe I didn't put it anywhere. Here it is. Here we go. Time for the 7th inning stretch. You know what that means. We're going to get up. We're going to stretch. It's 7th inning stretch time here in Fort Wayne. 18-5 the score. And, of course, as tradition, here is Take Me Out to the Ball Game. There you have it. Take me out to the ball game. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's go. They just blow the full-time whistle. The Union win. Let's go. That's a big win, man. That's a good win. We rotated players out and still found a way to win. Ty Baribo's penalty in the 59th minute is enough, and the Union are winners. Let's go, man. The big question is in the standings very quickly. Where does that put the Union? Because Cincinnati, did they play today? Or did they play? They have an extra game, and they've already played. Cincinnati played already. So they drew 1-1 with Columbus, which means the Union, on goal difference, are now top of the Eastern Conference pile. Holy moly. Holy moly, we're top. We're top depending on the result of the Vancouver game. If Vancouver do not beat Austin, we will be top of the league. We'll be the best. Wow. Wow, I didn't think that was going to be a possibility at all this season. Right, into the bottom of the 7th we go for this one. Due up will be George Zettelin. He is 1 for 3 so far. Here's the first pitch. Inside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Inside, ball 2. 2-0 here. That's fouled back towards the screen. It'll be 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's popped up into right field. It's a base hit. Zetlin's aboard with his second hit of the afternoon. That brings up Dickie Flowers. He is 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs today. First pitch called. Strike on the inside. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That's high for a ball. 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Inside for a ball, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's grounded foul. Here's the 2-2. That's low for ball 3. Here's the full count pitch, and it's outside for a ball. And Dickie Flowers will walk. George Zetlin goes over to second base. And it's first and second with nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. That brings up Count Sessendorfer, who is 2 for 4 so far. 2 for 5 so far in this game. Sorry, he is 3 for 5 in this game. Beg your pardon. Here's the first pitch to him. That's taken inside for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. That's chopped foul down the first base side. Here's the 1-1. That's popped up into center field. And the center fielder has it. That is Al Reach on the putout. And that is the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Jimmy Wood, who is 4 for 5 today with 4 RBIs. First pitch taken low for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's taken low for ball 2. 2-0. The 2-1 pitch in there for a called strike. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's inside, ball 3. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's grounded over towards the second baseman. On to second for 1. They don't get the throw over to first, so it'll be a fielder's choice for Jimmy Wood. 4-6 on the putout. Over to third will go George Zetlin. And that is going to be the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Steve King. He is 1 for 4 so far in this game. Here's the first pitch. That is lined deep into center field. Center fielder under it, and he will grab it for the final out of the inning. So no runs on 2 hits, and they leave 2 aboard. We go to the top of the 8th. It is going to be 18-5 for Fort Wayne. Due up first for Boston is going to be James McDermott, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry, Bob Addy. He's the pitcher now, right? So. Here's the first pitch to Addy. That's taken low for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed. It'll be 1-1. Here's the 1. The 1-1 pitch is. Oh my God. 1-1 pitch is fouled back behind home plate. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Grounded back up towards the mound. Over to first, and that's in time for the force. That brings up Bob McAtee. He is 2 for 4 so far today. Here's the first pitch. Inside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's inside, ball 2. 2-0 pitch now. Taken outside for a strike. 2-1. Right, 2-1 pitch. Here it is. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's taken high and away for a ball. 3-2. Full count. And here's Zetlin into the rotation and the pitch. That's popped up right at home plate. And that'll be the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Warren White. He is 1 for 4 so far with a single, 2 groundouts, and a strikeout. Here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside, ball 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, grounded over to the third baseman. On to first, in time, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 18-5 for Fort Wayne. Due up first for Fort Wayne will be Henry Schaefer. He is 3 for 5 so far today with a stolen base. Here's the first pitch. That's in there for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded foul behind home plate. 0-2 now. Oh, check swing, but he didn't go. And it's a ball. Tried to get him to chase something there. Almost nearly did. Here's the 1-2. That's grounded foul again. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Grounded over to third base. On to first. In time for the first out of the inning. That brings up Wes Fisler. He is 2 for 5 today with 4 RBIs. Here's the first pitch. That's popped up. That might blow foul. And it will. It'll just land foul. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taken inside for a ball. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That's hit deep into left center field. And that's going to find the gap. That's going to be a double. At least. And here comes the ball in. It'll be safe at third. And Wes Fisler has got himself a triple. It's his second triple of the game. Now there's a runner 90 feet away with just 1 out. Here comes Fergie Malone. He's 2 for 5. He swings with the first pitch here. This is going deep into right, and that's foul. Malone has a single. Has 2 singles, beg your pardon. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taken inside for a ball. 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Check swing, but he didn't go, and it's 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's in the dirt for a ball. 3-2. The payoff pitch. That's chopped foul behind home plate. And we'll do it again. This is the 7th pitch of this at-bat. And it's inside. He walked him. So Malone is aboard with 1 out. Runners on the corners. Dave Birdsall will be due up next. He is 3 for 5 with an RBI and 3 singles. Oh, he's coming. There's another pitcher change for Boston. Tom Patterson is coming on. All the 5th, all the 6th, all the 7th, and 1 down here. So 3.2 innings for Tom. So 3.2 innings for, 3.2 innings for Bob. His pitch count finished at 55. He had, I think, just the 1 walk. Yeah, he had 1 walk. He didn't strike out anybody. Hits. He had 5 hits. And runs, he's actually not surrendered. No, he's surrendered. No, he's not surrendered any runs. He's not surrendered any runs. So nothing earned against him. Right. Here's the second pitch from Patterson. That one's going to be chopped foul down the third base side. That one's lined right deep into left field, over the left fielder's head, all the way to the wall. This could be triple territory here again, and it looks like it is. Going into third base comfortably is Birdsall. He's got himself a triple. And he's also going to have himself 2 RBIs with that. Scoring on the play is Fissler and Malone, and now it's 20 up for Fort Wayne. That'll bring up George Zetlin, the pitcher. He singled his last at bat. He is 2 for 5 today. Runner 90 feet away, 1 out. Here's the first pitch. That's popped up in the infield. Coming in is the second baseman, and he will grab it for the second out of the inning. That brings Dickie Flowers to the plate. He is 3 for 6 so far in this. I'm sorry, there's going to be a substitution. Ralph Ham will come in for Dickie Flowers. Here's the first pitch. That is taken for a ball. It's a pass ball, and scoring on the play is Dave Birdsall. It is 21-5 for Fort Wayne. Here's the 1-0 to Ralph Ham. That's taken inside for ball 2. 2-0. Inside ball 3. Wow. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Taking all the way was Ham, and it's 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball, and Ralph Ham has walked to first base. That'll bring up Count Sessendorfer. He is 2 for 5 so far in this game. Well, this says 3 for... Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's 3 for 6 with an RBI and a stolen base. Here is the first pitch. That's grounded over towards the first baseman, and he will take it himself for the final out of the inning. So 3 runs on 2 hits, and they leave 1. We go to the bottom. We go to the top of the 9th. It is going to be 21-5 for Fort Wayne. Due up first for Boston will be the second baseman, Tom Carey. He is 1 for 4 so far today with an RBI. Here's the first pitch. That's foul down the first base side. 0-1 pitch. Check swing, but it's low. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. In there for a called strike. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. That's high and away for a ball. 2-2. Here's the pitch. In the dirt for a ball. And the count is run full. Here's the payoff pitch. And that's fouled down the third base side. We'll do it again. Here is the pitch. That's popped up. Just beyond second base. And the shortstop will grab it for the first out of the inning. That brings up Andy Leonard, who is he's 1 for 2 so far today, 2 walks and an RBI. Here's the first pitch. That's down and away for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Inside, ball 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's lined into right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit, and this could be extra bases. Coming over to second will be Leonard, and he's got himself his second hit of the day. It's a double, and Andy Leonard is aboard in scoring position with 1 out. That'll bring up Al Reach to the plate. He is 0 for 4 so far today. First pitch, that's fouled back towards the screen. Here is the 0-1 pitch. Fouled away again, and it's 0-2. 0-2. A wild pitch. That's going to see Leonard get to third. And now he's 90 feet away with 1 out. Here's the 1-2. Swung on. That's driven into right field. That's a base hit. And it is going to be Outreach getting his first hit and bringing home Andy Leonard with an RBI. Next up will be Tommy Beals. He's 2 for 4 with a stolen base and an RBI. First pitch, that's popped up on the first base side. Coming in as the second baseman, and he has got it for the second out of the inning. Boston down to the final out here. It'll be Henry Kohler up to the plate next. He is 2 for 4 with an RBI so far in this game. Here is the first pitch. That one taken on the inside corner for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded foul. 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That's taken low for a ball. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's also in the dirt for a ball. 2-2. Here is the 2-2 pitch. That's popped up down at first base. And on it is the first baseman. And the game is over. 1 run on 2 hits. And they leave 1. And the final score, the Boston Red Stockings 6, the Fort Wayne Kekiongas 21. Let's go over your box scores. I got to do all the errors now. I always have to do the errors first. So I have, let's see, for Fort Wayne, I have an E4, I have an E5, I have an E6, and that's all I have. So one of those was a throwing errors, and I don't record those. So E4, E5, and E6, right? So I'm going to go E4, that's Steve King. E5 is Henry Schaefer. E6 is Wes Fizzler. So they all get an error. Now on the Boston side, I have a crap ton of errors. So I've got an E4, I got an E4. Let me count E4s. I have one E4. That's Andy Leonard, E4. I have an E8. And that's all I have. So that was Joe Batten. He's got an error. Then I have a E1. That's the pitcher. That's, Bob McAfee. He had one. E6, Tommy Beals had one. I also had a E5. That was Al Reach. And then that was all the errors. So here's your box scores. I'm going to go to box score here because I'm going to have to do the pitching, which I can never figure that out here. But here's what I have. Bob McAfee for Boston. He finished 2 for 5. So at bats 5, hits 2, runs 2. He scored twice. No RBIs and no second bases, third bases, home runs, no base on balls, no strikeouts, no RBIs. Right. Warren White. At bats 5, hits 1, runs 1, no singles, no doubles, no doubles, no triples, no home runs, no base on balls. He struck out once. No stolen bases. Tom Carey. He was 1 for 5. So at bats 5, hits 1. Did he score? He scored 1 run. No, he had 1 double. No triples, no home runs, no base on balls, no strikeouts, 1 RBI, no stolen bases. Andy Leonard. He finished. At bats 3, hits 2, runs 1. No doubles, no triples, no home runs, 2 bases on balls, no strikeouts, 1 RBI. Al Reach. At bats 5, hits 1, runs 1. No doubles, no triples, no home runs, no bases on balls, no strikeouts, 1 RBI. No stolen bases. Tommy Beals. At bats 5, hits 2, no runs, no doubles, no triples, no home runs, no bases on balls, no strikeouts, 1 stolen base, 1 RBI. Henry Kohler. At bats 5, hits 2, didn't score a run, 1 double, no triples, no home runs, no bases on balls, no strikeouts, 1 RBI. No stolen bases either. Joe Button. Joe Batten. At bats 4, hits 0. Asa Bernard. At bats 2, hits 0. Greg Kimball. At bats 1, hits 0. Uh, Bob Addy, at bats 1, hits 0. So Boston, total at bats 5, 10, 15, 18, 22. I'm sorry, 23, 28, 33, 37, 39, 40, 41 at bats. Runs scored 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hits hits 1, 4, 5, 7, 9. I have 11. That's correct, 11. Of those hits, doubles 1, 2. Triples none. Home runs none. Bases on balls 2. Errors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Strikeouts 1. Stolen bases 1. RBIs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For that's all of them done. I have to do the pitchers. Pitchers. Patterson pitched 0.2 innings. His pitch count was 10. His bases on balls was 1. He didn't strike out. He gave up 1 hit, 1 run, and was it earned? It was. How many earned runs did McDermott give up? Why does Bob Abbey had 3 earned runs? Oh, 10-7? Okay. I got it wrong with the 10-7. So 3? So earned runs for Asa Bernard was 2. McDermott was 5. Addy was 3. And Bernard got the loss. Seems a bit harsh. Actually, no, it doesn't. He would have gotten a loss. All right. Over to Fort Wayne. Here you go. Look at this madness. Let's start with Dickie Flowers, shall we? 5 at bats, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 double, no triples, no home runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts, no stolen bases, 2 RBIs. Count Sessendorfer. At bat 7, hits 3, runs 2, no doubles, no triples, no home runs, no base on balls, no strikeouts, a stolen base, and an RBI as well. Jimmy Wood. 4 at bat 6, hits 4, runs 3, no double, 1 triple, 1 home run, no base on balls, no strikeouts, no stolen bases, 4 RBIs. Steve King. At bats 6, hits 1, 1 run, no doubles, no triples, no home runs, no bases on balls, no strikeouts, and no RBIs, no stolen bases. Henry Schaefer. At bat 6, hits 3, runs 2, no doubles, 1 triple, no home runs, no bases on balls, no strikeouts, 1 stolen base, no RBIs. Wes Fizzler. At bat 6, hits 3, runs 2, no doubles, 2 triples, no home runs, no bases on balls, no strikeouts, no stolen bases, 4 RBIs. Fergie Malone. At bats 5, hits 2, runs 2, no doubles, no triples, no home runs, 1 base on balls, no strikeouts, no stolen bases, no RBIs. Dave Birdsall. At bats 6, hits 4, runs 3, no doubles, 1 triple, no home runs, no bases on balls, no strikeouts, no stolen bases, 3 RBIs. George Zetlin. At bats 6, hits 2, no doubles, no triples, no home runs, no bases on balls, no strikeouts, 1 run, no stolen bases, no RBIs. And finally, Ralph Ham, 1 at bat, 1 hit, no doubles, no triples, no singles, no bases on balls, no strikeouts, no stolen bases, no sacrifice fly, or I'm sorry, no RBIs. So the total for Fort Wayne for at bats 5 and 7 is 12, and 6 is 19, and 6 is 25, and 6 is 31, and 6 is 37, and 5 is 42, and 6 is 48, and 6 is 54, and 1 is 55 at bats. Runs 2, 4, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16. I don't know why I don't have more runs listed because it was 21, but whatever. We'll ball. I'll fix it later, or I won't fix it at all. Hits 2, 5, 9, 10, 13, 16, 18, 22, 24, 25 hits I have. How many hits does they have? They have 24. I got 25. I'm going by what I scored. Fuck it. Doubles. One double. Triples, though. 1, 2, 4, 5 triples. 1 home run. Bases on balls, 2. Strikeouts, none. Stolen bases, 1, 2, 2. RBIs, 2, 3, 7, 11, 15 RBIs. There you have it. And errors, 1, 2, 3, 3. There you go. Right. That concludes this game. Let's continue on to the next one. I really don't know why it keeps doing this and not giving me a like I have a center fielder, right fielder. I all the big like this should be locked in, man. There you go. No games on the 22nd. Cleveland Forest Cities and the Fort Wayne Kekiongas are going to be the next match. That is the 23rd of April, 1871. For those on the YouTube, thank you so much for watching. This was the 3rd game of our commentate through of Out of the Park Baseball. We'll be back with this match next. Cleveland Forest Cities, Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Definitely want to check it out. But thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, take care.